But did I ever tell you that I love your voice?
Did I ever tell you I love everything about you?
The set used to be happy when I was playing Shelly.
Until
Male
सुन रहे
breakup
हैं।
songs ना बहुत है.
But female breakup song.
Female heartbreak songs कम है थोड़े.
Three beautiful ladies, one spectacular trailer, but the best is yet to come. 25th October on Netflix is Do Patti. My name is Hrishi K, and you have to watch this. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
You know, I have so many questions written down, but you know, I see Kajol and I just go weak in the knees and the voice. But I'm going to try very hard, which is why I'm going to start with you, Kriti. Blue butterfly.
Yes.
Hyphen, the tribe. I mean, you have an engineer's brain somewhere. How good are you at handling the P&L? Because that's a very important part of being a producer, profit, loss. Yeah? Doing
Yeah,
well
I
in
mean,
that
I'm
department?
a science background person, so not
Correct.
very great at it, but passion बहुत है. So सब passion से चलता है.
And you had great advice for somebody who's already been co-producer for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. She's hopefully good at handling P&L.
Playing a cop who's on the edge, does that mean you're doing some serious stunts? Are you handling guns? How's the prep on that front?
Absolutely not.
No?
This is a very calm cop, shant cop. There is a gun. She has a gun, but doesn't necessarily use it. Like most cops, I think. They use it as a last resort.
Correct.
And that's exactly her method of dealing with, you know, whatever she's dealing with. It's more about the mind. It's more about catching people out in a lie than actually aggressively, you know, conforming to violence. And I love the idea of wearing a uniform. There is something about wearing a uniform that instantly straightens your back, you know, straightens your spine, and you suddenly start feeling a little bit like there's this authority that comes in your walk. So yes, it's a responsibility which you have to look at as well. And I hope we've done it justice in every which way.
You know, I know you love the thriller genre, and you'd be a fool not to understand that given your filmography. But handling the scripting of a character with a double role, Judwa Behne, that must come with its own set of challenges. How do you establish that conflict on paper so that it ultimately realizes its potential on screen when you're writing?
You know, when you're writing a double role, you actually have to forget that there is, you have to treat them like two individual characters. You have to write their graphs independently, their likes and dislikes, and absolutely everything, how you would develop a character, you know, a singular character, the same way you have to write the double role with two characters in mind. So firstly, आपको अपने दिमाग से निकालना पड़ेगा as a writer कि ये एक actor play कर रहा है. So the moment you are self-aware that this is a double role of the same actor, it's going to not land well. Number one. And number two, like Kriti was also mentioning that, you know, one has to be very clear in what sets these two siblings or twins or the double role, you know, be it male or what is setting them apart, what is driving them, what is that they fear, and it not necessarily has to be the same thing. Although they come from the same environment, same parents, same family, what are the little conflicts, insecurities, desires that make them people in their own right? So that is something that one constantly has to keep in mind while writing a double role as a writer, I think.
That's fab. I hope students of screenplay writing are listening to that. Great stuff. Now, the differences between both sisters are apparent to see, even in the trailer, Kriti.
I'm glad.
There's one who's flamboyant, the other is a little more sober. The flamboyant one always attracts more attention in siblings. Does that mean the sister was more difficult to do the sober one?
No, I feel like both of them have their own grey areas. They have their own baggages. They have their own way they react to things. That difference, especially because they're sisters who had the same upbringing, they talk in a similar manner, right? They can't be very different because they've been in the same home. I think that difference was more difficult to crack. Both have different scenes, but yes, when you're saying flamboyant one attracts more attention, even on the set used to be happy when I was playing Shelly.
But that doesn't mean she was easier to play.
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Right.
But yeah, as a character, I would say Shelly is a lot more transparent and more straightforward, though I feel like she has her own reasons for what she does. So I feel like with everything, even in the twins, if you're showing rivalry, somewhere deep down there has to be a reason for it.
True. Yeah. So you worked with all kinds of directors. There are mainstream film directors, there are advertising guys. Bob comes from an advertising background. What was it, Kajol, that he brought to the table that was unique in his approach to a feature film? I mean, to tell a story in 30 and 60 seconds, very different from a full-length feature.
Absolutely. I think it was his experience. Yes, definitely only in the 30 and 60 seconds, yes. But it was also the way, I think you always judge a director not only based on his technical aspect, it's about how passionate he is about the film, how he sees the film. If he sees the film like you see the film, do you share a vision or not? So I think Bob explained himself, and the way he described the film to me was very much as how I saw it and how I would like to see it also, for that matter. And I think we've pretty much come about in the right way for it.
Nice. So, you know, you've written novels, you've written screenplays. What is it that you most enjoy about novel writing as opposed to story and screenplay writing? You're not doing too much novel writing anymore, isn't it? I mean, it's just, you're so busy with screenplays and stories.
Writing, no, yeah. Now
those are the days. Maybe you can look back and say what was, you know, more enjoyable.
You know, it's creatively very fulfilling. I think even more than screenwriting, because I'm directly literally talking to my audience. They're reading what I write directly. There's no interpretation by a director, by any HOD. There's no, I'm the art person, I'm the costume designer, I'm the background music giver in terms of a novel, because what I write is what you're reading and what you're feeling. So the way I need to, so there's a very direct interaction with the audience. There is no loss in translation. And it's also screenplay writing and filmmaking is a very collaborative effort, because there are actors who are interpreting your lines. And again, in novel writing, it's from my heart to your heart. So that is very liberating, very purist in terms of exploring your creative voice. Having said that, I'm really enjoying screenwriting as well, and now that I've turned producer, I think what happens is you can be involved a little bit more, a lot more, depending on how much you want to kind of be a part of the process. So the creative freedom and creative liberty also kind of expands with that. So one of the primary reasons I've turned producer also is to kind of tell my stories in the best way possible, from the scripting stage to the time they actually reach the audiences.
Great. Brijendra Kala ji is such a fine actor.
He's back.
Also, he has such an animated face. I mean, there are so many times he just appears on screen in films and I burst out laughing just looking at him.
He may not even make an expression and you'll burst out laughing.
Burst out laughing.
Even his silence is funny. You just give a pause and you'll laugh.
He's like that in life also. I feel like he just says something off the take which is funny.
So talk to me about working with him in your scenes with him.
It was amazing actually. He was so, there were these scenes where he has to just, like, the scene is that I look at him and he gives me this innocent look back and I nearly burst out laughing in the shot itself. I was there for his close-up because I was standing there and I gave him the cues. And I was standing over there, I'm just supposed to pick up the phone and, say, hum aa rahe hain. And he's supposed to look at me very innocently. That look was fab. I burst out laughing. So throughout it, the small things that he does are, and it's not scripted. Yeah. Nobody has told him to do this. Like,
it's just
ad-lib that he's just playing on in the wides, and it's so much fun to work with him.
I think they also have great chemistry, I would say.
Lovely.
Even when we were dubbing, I remember with Kalaji right now, he just gave a word, a reaction. Automatically it came, and we were laughing. We were on the floor. He said, "But I am to bol raha hu." Every time you say everybody would laugh in the dubbing studio. I mean, it was just hilarious. So true blue artist performer. You can see that. True entertainer.
So Ranjan is such a earworm. Did Sachet Parampara send you guys a few compositions to choose from? Or was this the only one? And did you immediately say, yes, this is the one we want? Take me through the journey of the song.
I think we were toying with a few compositions and lyrics also. We were toying with some. This was the one that came and in one go, like Kanika, me and Bob, everyone was just aligned and it's the melody stayed with us. Yeah. Like I heard it a few times, just the melody, they would just give the hook of it and went to shoot something of Do Patti and I still remembered it. And just the hook line, I felt like Kausar has written it. She's the hook line of Ja Ranjan tu bhi kya yaad karega, ja Heer ne tenu chhod diya. It's just a beautiful line, especially when you'll see in the film where it comes. What is happening is a bit opposite, but it's just written very beautifully.
Somebody was just telling me, यार अभी मेरा breakup हुआ है और मैं ये loop पे सुन रही हूँ. मैंने कहा भैया सबके साथ
यार,
जिनके साथ
male
धोखे
breakup-
हुए हैं ना वो सब रांझी
Male
सुन रहे
breakup
हैं.
songs ना बहुत है.
पर फीमेल ब्रेकअप सॉन्ग,
Female heartbreak songs
Like-
कम है थोड़े.
जाहिर ने तेनू छोड़ दिया, मतलब एम्पावरमेंट हो रही है यहाँ पर.
Nice. So casting Shaheer, now actors who have a massive TV fan following, Kanika, we know how their fans react. We saw in the trailer.
Oh, he has
Yeah.
a massive
Massive
following.
following.
Their fan clubs, whistles, cheers each time he said something. The Shaheer fan club. Was it on your mind ever that if I cast him, he's going to bring his sizable TV fan club into OTT? I mean, it's sizable in terms of more people watching the film. Would that ever cross your mind?
You know, honestly, I'll tell you, it is on the list, but was it the first reason? No, I'll tell you. You know, we auditioned for Dhruv's role for a long time. I think last minute, finally, we found Shaheer. The auditioning process was very intense, and also, you know, with Kriti's height, it's very difficult to get a tall actor. You know, in Indian,
I've done films with mostly actors who've been shorter than
No,
me.
I know, but you know, this whole thing of, you know, this physically one should look like there should be some chemistry, and so the concept was that, you know, we should get somebody who's like good looking, dashing, taller, definitely. So these were some of the things, and of course, emote well, and you should really act it out well. So we did a lot of auditions, and then Kriti actually came for this audition to audition for Dhruv's role. She was there. So in fact, everybody's like, hey, Kriti
And then she
Sanon.
stood shoulder to shoulder.
And then it was
I
done.
swear, मैं वो scenes जो audition वाले scenes होते हैं ना, क्या है, इतने लोगों के साथ कर चुकी थी कि मैं I was telling her that Kanika, मैं ये life में जब genuinely करूँगी ना film के लिए, I'll be पकाउट.
इतने auditions किए थे, and of course as a producer I was very mindful that he has a huge following, and yes, it did cross
an
my
added
mind.
bonus.
It was an added bonus, and definitely it did occur to us that, you know, we should definitely tap into that as well, and only makes sense, right?
You know, it's wonderful to see so many women collaborating together. The platform head is a lady, two producers, both ladies on this film, two leading ladies. It's just fab to see. What I want to ask you, Kajol, is because in your extensive career, have you seen the technician side improve? Are you seeing more
Absolutely.
women DOPs, women
Absolutely.
editors since you came into the industry? Is it substantially or dhire dhire?
No, but the great part is that I remember sometimes being the only woman on set.
Wow.
Besides my hairdresser, sometimes being the only, me and my hairdresser were the only two women on set for whatever reasons. And you know, you slowly see that changing. It started with Dharma, at least for me it started with Dharma. And you know, women ADs and stuff like that, and slowly DOPs. And you know, I worked with a DOP, I worked with a female DOP for Devi. So it's amazing. And in fact, even the paps that follow you around. So it always makes me feel just that little bit, you just notice it a little more, because I'd never seen a female pap. So I was like, Arre wah! I think this is the first time I've seen a female pap standing over there and pushing her way through the crowd
And she
and
gets a
making
special
sure,
photo.
yeah,
She gets
she's
the
like,
shots.
ma'am, I was like, you know, I'm so happy to see a woman over here. It's such a demanding job. It's a job that you have to like literally fight for space. And to see a woman standing over there and fighting for space and getting it was something that it was at a red carpet. I remember that also. So I see her occasionally off and on. But
I remember her
it was
face also.
something. Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
So otherwise you would not. I mean, where do you know the faces nowadays? There are too many people for you to check. But yes, slowly but surely, I think there are a lot more women. I still won't say that it's 50%. Not from any
Not even
angle.
close.
Not even close.
Not even
yeah.
close to that. But at least there are enough.
At least they're putting the foot in the door.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want you to take that because it's crazy that even highly specialized ones, like I was just picking up some veggies at food hall in Bandra, and I started chatting with this lady. She turned out to be an underwater camera photographer, a cinematographer. And I was like, wow, so these are areas where women didn't tread in, but they are treading. So you see that change now? It's going to keep improving?
Absolutely, I mean, we have to, like Monica was also saying, we are 50% of the, population. So we have to be, more in the workforce. It will only make it better. And I'd also say that as women are, like for example, I'm a producer now, and I have that opportunity to hire. it's also a responsibility that we have, that we need to make sure that there's a certain sort of a gender skew that can be corrected. So I have also told my team that I would love to have more female EPs, more line producers, not just have girls being in costume, or usually they only get girls for costume ADs, not even in the AD department.
I think a big part of that also has to do with social media. I think the fact that there's an entire job profile that has opened up because of social media. It's not only about standing in front of somebody and getting them to hire you. It's about putting your resume out there. So when people see good work, somewhere down the line, it doesn't matter whether the gender is male or female.
Correct.
They will still call you up. And social media, like in your Instagram profile, photographers for that matter, these days nobody tells you that, "Arey, maine iska photo liya aur uska photo liya." They send you their Instagram profile to say that, why don't you look at it this, and this is what all I have done. So it's just, I'm just saying that the world is changing. The avenues for men and women alike, I would say, for different job profiles have opened up all over, which is a huge thing, because that automatically, these profiles and these resumes that they're looking at, again, gender doesn't matter. Correct. In that.
Yeah. Why do you call it blue butterfly? Is there a reason?
I love butterflies. I like the color blue, but more than that, and also that emoji, the butterfly emoji, is blue. But I also feel like I love that butterflies stand for transformation, evolving, change, a caterpillar going through a journey and becoming the most beautiful version of itself. I feel that's how it's always, like my journey has been like that.
There are different points in your career. There was Tribhanga, there's Love Stories, and now this one. Are you seeing the evolution of OTT? Because what had happened initially was there was a lot of excitement, there was a lot of buzz. Then suddenly people got used to it. And then people said, oh my God, there's some good stuff, but there's a lot of crap also which is being poured out. Where do you view it now, from then to now? From Tribhanga to now, how much have you seen it evolve and change?
I definitely have seen the Indian Netflix grow and change. No two ways about it. The content has changed dramatically since then, and become more India-centric, I would say. They have tried to bring out all the different stories of India and the color of what India is all about. It's not only about the Ghagras in Rajasthan. It's about a lot more than that. It's about how people think, and how people think in cities, villages, everywhere. And somewhere down the line, the link that connects us internationally as well. That people, whether they live in Bombay City or New York City, like for instance their stories, the love stories that they did, those ones that they had in New York, and they had one based in Bombay as well. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's they're trying to make it, and which I think is really commendable. They're trying to connect it in a way to say that we're all human, and borders were made for crossing.
Lovely. Last question to you. Biggest challenge as a producer thus far? You said there was a schedule to Manali that was scrapped, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So did that give you a few palpitations?
Both of us, to be honest, because we've in this film, I think, done a little Bharat Darshan of all the hill stations.
We've shot in multiple locations because that one location got cancelled. And in 15 days, we had to turn around, find another location, not lose days, and still make it happen.
And when we actually went to Manali, I kept telling Bob, I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I wish we'd shot the entire film here. But you can't control certain things. So.
And the adventure spot is there, is Manali?
It is a bit in all, it's shot all across.
So how did it work? I mean, when you got news that there's a cancellation, did you send out guys to Recce? Did you fly yourself?
Yeah, I mean, the director was already out.
So basically, as soon as we got the alert that there's a landslide alert, you can't shoot there. So the teams then immediately because, everything was closed, the line producer in Manali, everything was done. Wow. And, a considerable money has been spent, time has been spent. And then we only have these 20 days. So we doubled up on our teams, sent them to various locations. They were, the largest wrecking crew was, wrecking all across hill stations. And we had to pull it off.
I mean, they pushed the shoot only by 10 to 14 days?
10 days. 10 days.
10 days. Because everyone's dates were so set, and
tight,
there's so many combination dates. That
But the
we
show
couldn't
must
like.
go on. The shoot can't
You're the
get
calmer
cancelled.
one, she's the more passionate one, like emotional one.
She's the more blunt one also. ऐसा नहीं है. इसके गुस्से पे I'm like
No, actually, yeah. There are many times when Kriti like, Kanika,
I have to, like,
calm
give
me."
her eyes,
She's
like-
like, no, you can't. And okay.
Guys, from me, Hrishi K, everybody who's watching, listening, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The film is as exciting as these ladies and this conversation. Please go watch 25th of October on Netflix. Thank you.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.